Hello and welcome to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Nina Addeo, a social media marketing expert specific to the wedding industry. On this show, I discuss tips to help you DIY your social media, as well as getting the confidence and income to outsource it. Thank you for allowing this episode to come through on your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever it may be you're listening from today. Now, let's take your wedding business to the next level. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? And welcome back to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen me post onto my stories that I'm beginning the process of adding the podcast onto YouTube. So that's the beautiful thing about hosting your own podcast, maybe outside of a network. I'm not sure how it works if it's in one, but just doing it on my own individually, I'm able to do what I want to do with the content. So it can live in more than one place. It was actually my friend Latasha James, who you can follow at the Latasha James, who encouraged not only me personally, but she encourages her entire audience to make the transition to video. So that is what I am looking to do here slowly. I don't know what this integration is going to look like. Today, while recording this audio, I didn't feel ready to sit down and start recording for the podcast on video, but I may never feel ready. So, in the next few weeks, I'm going to be making a roadmap of what this is going to look like. And as always, I will share the journey with you here. So far, I have just been pulling the audios, matching it up with a graphic and adding captions and then uploading it to YouTube that way. But I hope to get more kind of full time with the YouTube transition and having kind of fully done YouTube videos when I start recording for both, which could be happening this season because we are just getting into the fall wedding season. I am wrapping up my own watching of season one of The Gilmore Girls. I have never watched it before. My 3-year-old nephew and his mom surprised me for a lunch visit today. So that was really great. And now I've got the candle burning, I've got the cat nipped, and it's time to get to work. So we recently wrapped up promotion for my Engaged to Engagement workshop with Carissa Cruzy Weddings. And that's what I want to discuss today. Lessons learned from hosting my first online workshop and virtual event. If you are not offering a workshop, let's frame this to how you might apply it towards a bridal showcase or an event or a virtual showcase of your own. The first thing I learned for me was to not go at it alone. I'd never hosted any paid for course, workshop, or real offering before, and I knew enough about Carissa to see she was a master at it. So, what I offer are services, not so much of video footage, workshops, things like that. So pair up with someone who offers what you're lacking. What I lack in organization, funnels, and structure. Three things Carissa has, I made up for in the networking, the communication, and the social engagement time. So, how could you apply this towards your business? I've seen photographers and DJs do this before because a showcase for a photographer alone may be a little boring, but if you pair it with a DJ performance, then you've got an event on your hands. Maybe your shortcoming is that you're shy or don't have the following. Think about who else shares a common goal with you to collaborate with. And I'm sorry if you hear the motorcycles going by. The streets of New York State just don't understand podcasting, but we're going to keep on keeping on because the next thing I learned was to be clear on the transformation you're selling. Just providing the value I learned was not enough. Why? Because people know what industry experts have, that they have value to offer. The transformation, however, offers an audience more clarity and feeling towards why they're coming. It helps put them in that place. I want to transform their social media experience from overwhelmed to empowered. I want someone to log onto their account and see engagement instead of seeing stress, all because of what I taught them. So putting them into that visualization of what their transformation is going to be when they allow me to teach them. So, what's the transformation for your couples? Maybe it's that by attending your bridal showcase, they can achieve months of planning in one night, giving them the opportunity to enjoy their engagement. Before we continue, I want to remind you that the I Do Wedding Marketing podcast is brought to you by the Weddingpreneurs Content Club. This is the solution for every wedding pro. With the Weddingpreneurs Content Club by Carissa Cruzy Weddings, you'll get access to fully customizable, high quality, engaging content landing in your inbox on the first of each month. Okay, guys, this is monthly. This is a way to give yourself a DIY marketing strategy without having to outsource to a full service agency like myself. So I wanted to pair with Carissa to offer something to my listeners who are not ready to make the huge monthly commitment of social media marketing. So, what do you get in the Weddingpreneurs Content Club? You get 30 engaging social media post templates, 30 done for you captions, 15 templates for Instagram stories, 8 on trend scripts, audios, and captions for Reels and TikToks, 2 pre written blog articles, and 2 email newsletter templates. And you get that monthly. You can join at a monthly price of $37 a month, a quarterly price of $97 a quarter, or annually, which is the best way to do it, at $347. And the best part is, if you sign up now, you're going to get access to our Engage to Engagement workshop for free. So if you want to check out the Weddingpreneurs Content Club, go to the show notes of this episode, go to the description if you're watching on YouTube, or you can just go to idoweddingmarketing.com/sponsors to learn more about it. Something else that I learned through doing this workshop was the important part that urgency really does play in selling. I know people always say to urgency, 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 but sometimes you just kind of roll your eyes at it and go, I don't want to do that, But here's what I learned, guys. Half of the workshop sales occurred during the early bird pricing period, so a limited time where they could purchase the ticket and get it cheaper. The other half of the sales happened the day before the workshop. So I encourage you to give incentives for people to register early. Maybe they can enter the showcase 30 minutes early to get first access to the vendors of their choosing. Maybe it's primary parking, swag to take home, or a digital download if you're doing this online. Something that makes sense for you and for them. And of course, don't sit back on those last minute posts and email blasts because, as I said, 50% of sales happen the last day. Reaching people at the final stretch can double your guest count. A huge part of the workshop I want to talk about is giving to receive. The day before the workshop, I invited industry colleagues to attend, as well as personal friends of mine who run their own businesses. Let me say, though, I did clear this with Carissa, my workshop partner, but she also believed in this mindset of giving and opening the door for colleagues or personal friends. But why did we believe in this? Because we wanted active, interested participants. We wanted the workshop Zoom to look as busy as possible. Want to know the darndest thing about it? Most of the purchase tickets did not want to or could not attend live. So they were purchasing for the replay. Having the audience members that I invited as a guest for the live made a huge difference for us. They created a more engaging atmosphere. They were cheering this on and they were asking questions. So it just created this great, great feeling. Who can you invite as a courtesy to one of your shows or workshops? Perhaps already booked couples, other vendors, maybe personal friends or family. I do want to make clear that the tickets I gave away were to people who weren't the target audience for purchasing. So it wasn't stopping my sales in this, just like I wouldn't expect you to do that either. In the spirit of giving to receive, at the end of the workshop, one of our industry colleagues told Carissa and I that it felt like we were sharing and caring instead of selling. And that was the truth of it. We weren't in it to sell. We were in it to experience, share, and learn while teaching others. We were in it to offer a transformation and a value. The last thing I learned was that taking the plunge is the important part. If you've had a hankering to host your own event, digital showcase, in person showcase, or a workshop, go for it. Carissa and I met once a week via Zoom, where each week we just focused on the next step. We didn't go 0 to 60. We gradually put one foot in front of the other week by week. I would even say to her, what should we have done by next week? What can I do for next week? Pace yourself, plan your next step, and take it day by day. Believe me, there were times we had to talk ourselves down. We were so excited, we wanted to start right away. But we learned that focus and baby steps was the best way to work this into our already busy existing schedule. So, what sort of workshops or showcases have you been looking to do for your business? Comment down below for YouTube or send me a message on Instagram if you're listening to the podcast. So, the Engage to Engagement workshop will still be available for replay purchase. So, visit idoweddingmarketing.com to check that out. If you enjoyed this episode, have you reviewed us yet? An Apple podcast really helps this show to get discovered. So I thank you for listening in on today's episode about what I learned from hosting my first workshop. And I hope you will subscribe so you can come back to see what we're talking about in the wedding marketing world next week. Bye, guys.